Pisces? How are you guys doing? It's time for your November 2025 main monthly reading. So if any of you need a personal reading, you can always just go straight to my website, tarotwithrich.com. I have a link for that right down here in the description of this video. Most people prefer my general personal readings. They're very inexpensive and budget friendly, but they're quick, efficient, easy, and to the point. You don't have to ask me nothing. You don't have to tell me nothing. If you don't want to, you can, but all you really have to do is click what you want read and let me do the rest. But I do offer a lot more than just that, and you can read up on everything else that I have to offer on my website. Link is in the description. All right, let's see what we got here. I want to see how things are looking between the single Pisces and the person that you're interested in. Your love interest. Let's see how it's looking in November. How's it looking in November? Single Pisces and your love interest. Man, a lot of nervousness. Nervousness, fear, anxiety, uncertainty. Queen of Swords. You're doing a pretty good job at keeping a level head, though. That's interesting. That's interesting. A lot of fear, uncertainty, but you're doing a good job at keeping a level head. A real good job. The only cup I have on the table here is the Ace of Cups, and it's reversed. So it looks like no new start in love, but I'm not seeing communication being cut. Y'all are still in communication. It just doesn't really look like a decision is being made as to where this is going. Honestly, though, you're keeping a level head through the nervousness and the fear, and that's kind of causing you to lose interest. When you have to, keep yourself together from falling apart and keep your head above water. It gets to a point where you're thinking so logically that eventually you just start thinking, nah, fuck this. I don't think this is somebody I need in my life. I don't know if I'm interested in this. Death card, dude. Yeah, it's getting to a point where the connection, or what little connection there was, is starting to dwindle away so much. And here's another card that always comes out for this particular reading. Three of Swords. Could be a third party or suspected third party. But when you got Two of Wands and Two of Swords, no decision is being made. Damn, dog. Man, we're going to be seeing a lot of this. The last quarter of the year, we're going to be seeing a whole lot of this. Already been seeing a whole lot of this. Same thing every time. Everybody cleaning house, man. The universe is really starting to make it obvious. This is not somebody you need in your life, right? Well, let's see how they feel about you. Do do be do do buddy do buddy do do buddy do do buddy do. Damn it. Every time I read a new connection or potential new connection, what comes out? What comes out every time, like clockwork? The past. The past. That could mean any number of things, though. That doesn't intrinsically mean that they're actively seeing a past person. It could. Or it could just mean a past person they haven't moved on from. Ooh, I think they're a lot more scared and nervous than you. And Four of Swords reversed. Oh, this person's a mess, dude. And you may not have the slightest clue that they're a mess. You may not have the slightest clue. Kind of feels like this person wears a cloak of fake confidence. They may appear to be someone that has it all together, but oh, they ain't got nothing together. Oh, no, they don't. Oh, this is an extremely lost, confused, broken individual with very low self-confidence, little to no self-esteem. They have no clue where they're going in life. No clue. So this, hang on, where'd it go? This energy right here, it's a front. It's fake. It's fake. This is who they really are. And this right here, the best way to describe this energy would be like a scared little puppy dog in the rain with his tail between his legs, whimpering. Which sucks, you know. I hate that anybody has to feel like that, but, you know, then stay away from people. Go stick to yourself and heal yourself and fix yourself. Don't be out there leading people on thinking, you know, that they're going to get into a relationship and pretending that you are somebody that you're not, you know. Anyway, some of you dealing with a Taurus also have Sagittarius, Leo, Capricorn, Taurus again, Virgo. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. Well, let's see how they feel about you at the deepest level. What are their deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Wait a minute, wasn't that? Oh, that was their feelings, energies, and intentions, wasn't it? Yeah, okay, never mind. Let's get the advice then. Let's get the advice. What's the advice? Advice for Pisces. Death card. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Think about your average human lifespan. What, somewhere in the ballpark of 70 to 80 years, something like that? Now, imagine how many people are going to come and go in and out of your average person's life throughout the course of their life, from the cradle to the grave. It's going to be a lot of people, right? Of all the people that come and go in and out of somebody's life, how many of those people do you think were actually supposed to play a permanent role in their life? A few. Very fucking few. If any at all, but very few. So it's important that we try to hold on to the mentality of, if you're going to make your way into my life, eventually you might end up making your way out of my life. And that sucks. I'm not saying that that's easy to deal with. It's not fun, but you have to allow that to happen. If it seems like somebody is drifting away, you got to let them drift away. Got to let them. Now, if this is a highly toxic person that refuses to let go of you, that's a different story. Different story, but, you know, with the death card, when you feel the connection weakening and weakening and weakening to the point to where it's like there's almost no connection there, no decision is being made, sometimes you just have to let people come and go naturally. And it sucks, but not nearly as bad as it sucks to try to cling to somebody that the universe is pulling away from you. That sucks way worse. All right. Now we're going to see how things are looking in the current long-term relationship. So if you're not in a long-term relationship, this is not for you. If you are in a long-term relationship, but the two of you are not experiencing problems, this is not for you. How's it looking between Pisces and the current long-term partner? How's it looking? Temperance reversed. Y'all definitely don't balance each other out very well. Not at all. Not at all. You might be getting to the point where you're just getting completely impatient with this whole situation. Ten of Cups reversed. You're really starting to come to the realization that the two of you just may not make it to that happily ever after place that you had hoped to make it to. But you're not giving up and you're not abandoning this. An ending is being prevented. So there could be some trust issues. Somebody here could suspect a third party possibly. But Devil card, it's getting to the point where this is starting to turn a little bit toxic. Some of you it already did a long time ago, but yeah. All right, some of you dealing with a Scorpio. I also have Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn. Is that it? Yep, okay. Could be anybody. Those are just energies. Well, let's see their feelings, energies, and intentions towards you, Dan. What's their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Current long-term partner Pisces is dealing with. Ooh, again, Devil. Very self-serving individual. Very much so. They do believe, or at least they hope, that you are their person. You know, I don't really think they want this to come to an end, per se. But at the same time, like, they're very self-serving. So they're the type of person that believes that in order to fix the relationship, that's up to you. If you do things my way, it'll work. Every problem we have is all your fault. If you would do it this way, if you would do it that way, if you would start doing this way and stop doing that way, then it would work. You're the one that needs to do all the changes. I want to have my cake and eat it too. You know what I mean? Very self-serving, service to self. And I don't, when it all comes down to it, I don't think anything is really below this person. I don't think so. Not really. So, I mean, Ace of Cups, lovers. So they at least want you to be their person. They believe that you are. I think this person's getting pretty comfortable. I don't know how long y'all have been together, but this feels like they're pretty comfortable at this point, that they can just do whatever they want and you're never going to go anywhere. So, yeah. Once it gets to that point, that's why I tell her, I was just telling Aquarius a minute ago, that after 5 years, 90% of what you got is what you got. It's likely not going to change. Because why would it have to change? I haven't had to change this whole time. Why now all of a sudden, you know? You ain't going nowhere. Yeah, okay. All right, well, some of you dealing with a Capricorn. I also have Leo, Gemini, Aries. Could be a fellow Pisces for some of you. I have Libra here. All right. Could be the type of person that likes to pout when they don't get their way. All right, let's get the advice. Ooh, Chariot reversed. All right, so have you at least had a serious conversation with this person? I know some of you have. But see, like I said, it gets really dicey and slippery the longer you all have been together, especially if you've had this conversation with them before. Like, if you do this thing again, I'm leaving. And then they do the thing again and you don't leave. Then in their mind, that's like, your words mean nothing. You don't put action behind your words. You don't do what you say you're going to do. So whenever you try to have a serious conversation with them, they don't take it serious. But, I mean, at least to make things fair, we got to sit down and have a conversation and let this person know how serious this is. Like, I ain't playing. I ain't going to keep doing this shit. I'm not. I'm going to boot, scoot, and boogie, and I'm fucking out of here if whatever the issue is doesn't at least start showing a little bit of progress, a little bit, at least, you know? If it doesn't, well, you don't really need to be a rocket scientist to figure out what's going to happen here. Best case scenario, one of those hollow, empty, angry relationships that, do you want to be in one of those? I guess if you're cool with that. Some people say, I just don't want to die alone. You mean you would rather spend your life in a miserable, toxic relationship than spend the rest of your life alone? I couldn't imagine that. I mean, I could. I remember 20 years ago when I had that mentality. And I was at a really low place in life. I hated myself. Don't get me started on that. Anyway, okay, let's move forward. Let's see how the energy is looking generally for the singles. How's the energy generally looking for the singles in November? Damn, dog, Ace of Cups reversed. It kind of feels like there's probably a few people that you might end up connecting with. Potential love offers, love options, but nothing that's really sticking right now. Not really. I'm thinking you're connecting with somebody that there's really good communication, but like surface level communication. Surface level. So this one's a tough one. On one hand, you think, man, I've never communicated with anybody like this in my life. This gotta be my person. And then the next day, you're trying to dig a little bit deeper, and for whatever reason, they just don't go much deeper. And you're thinking, well, maybe there's not much of a connection here after all. And just kind of going back and forth. Back and forth and back and forth. You're really doing the best you can to keep your head above water and keep your priorities straight. Not let nobody pull the wool over your eyes. Not letting yourself get carried away with the what if, you know? And there's that Nine of Swords again. Could be a Scorpio for some of you. Also have Libra. Now let's see what their intentions are, what their feelings are. What are their truest, deepest feelings, energies, and intentions? Ooh, they want to be the one in control. They don't want to show any weakness. They don't want to show any vulnerability. Yup, Devil card. Some of you, this person could have some sort of addiction issue, possibly. They're guarding their heart. Guarding their heart, and Knight of Wands. Yeah, they're guarding their heart. They think they're going to get into a relationship on their terms. All right. I'll let you in on my terms. Which, I mean, I don't even know if somebody like this would know what the hell to do if they did let somebody in, you know? I don't think they have bad intentions. I don't think their number one goal is to play games and manipulate you. But I do not think they're approaching this connection very wisely. Not really. I'm not saying that right when you first connect with somebody, you should let your guard down and spill your heart out on the table. But there should at least be a little bit of a science behind it. You know? I don't really think there's much of a science behind this. It's just like, I got my walls up, and I'm not letting you nowhere near this thing until I say so, type shit, you know? Okay, they're having a hard time moving on from their last relationship. Every time, dude. Every time. I wouldn't say it's bad intentions, though. So then that begs the million-dollar question. Knowing that it's not bad intentions, do you want to put up with it? Let's get the advice. Ooh, man, that guard's got to come down. That guard's got to come down. I would say that within the first month, that guard should be starting to come down. Yeah, within the first month, that guard should that guard should start coming down within the first month. Communication should be improving within the first month. There shouldn't be a bunch of confusion in regards to where this is going. After a month, if you haven't pierced a deeper layer than you did within the first couple of days, you probably ain't ever going to. So there's very little that you can do to control that. Not really a whole lot. The question is, do you feel safe opening up to them? Somebody gonna have to open up. Somebody gonna have to let that guard down. Somebody gonna have to. The way I look at it is when you're the one who's more energetically aware and energetically inclined, it kind of puts it on you to be the one to open up first. I know it doesn't really seem all that fair, but when you are the one who's more spiritually inclined and you're the one who knows a thing or two about energy, sometimes you have to be the change you want to see. If I want you to open up, I'm going to open up. Am I taking a big risk doing that? Absolutely. But somebody's got to break the cycle. Don't let it string on too long, though. Let me put it to you like this. When you meet your person, you won't need to come ask me shit. You won't need to click on a tarot video when you meet your person, okay? Stay in that abundance frequency. The abundance frequency can sometimes be a lonely path, dude. Oh, you might turn down relationships left and right before your person shows up. But when you're in that abundance frequency, you're going to be really picky and choosy about what energy you allow into your life. Real picky and choosy. And when you are dealing with a situation like this and you're abundant from within, you ain't going to put up with that shit for a minute. All right. I feel like those were the messages that my Pisces family needed to hear. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks again for tuning in and playing along. Don't forget, information for personal readings is all down here in the description. All right. I'm out of here now, y'all. I will see you sometime between now and the rest of all eternity. Stay blessed.